Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran, and in today's video, I'm going to be showcasing you a little bit of a broken setup right now on the beta with a sub-rogue at 100% mastery, 1,000 points worth of mastery for basically free, which creates for some really incredible and insane gameplay that's like basically down to 2 buttons. So this build is going to be kind of crazy. It's not a real build. It only is functional because of a bug that's in the game right now. But I thought it was hilarious enough where I still wanted to showcase you guys exactly what is going on. If you want to check out sub-rogues in the beta and you happen to be playing Kyrian, which you definitely should give a try, at least while this is still up before Blizzard takes it away. Now some of you are probably going to say that, Dal, you're just going to end up nerfing the Kyrian rogue. I don't like it. I want to play Kyrian. This is normal. This is perfectly okay. This is not okay by any measure. What is going to be happening here is absolutely busted. Like, it's actually bugged, like not intended to be played in terms of the way that it functions. The code is broken here. So let me showcase you a couple different things that we'll be using. First of all, being a Kyrian, and if you have the soulbind for Pelagos, you have a bunch of different bonuses. Some of those bonuses are now changed, so you have different potency, endurance, and finesse conduits, but the game still lets me maintain certain potency conduits and defensives, so that still is a bug that is available as of beta. But also Pelagos, your buddy Pelagos, the blue man right here, his very last soulbind ability gives you a lot of mastery. For whatever reason, with this update, Combat Meditation gives you 720 mastery for 10 seconds. But in fact, it actually gives you way more mastery than it really does. In terms of the actual mastery it gives you, it's actually about 1,080 mastery. That means you have over 100% mastery buff. Also, the orbs that drop from Pelagos, you could actually maintain the full duration of your mastery buff from picking up these orbs. Sometimes they spawn in 2, sometimes they spawn in 1s. I don't think 3 ever spawn together, but you can basically maintain this mastery uptime the whole time as long as you're playing a bit of Pac-Man while you're doing your gameplay, which is super weird. Another thing to note as well is there's also now a bug with the Kyrian ability. The Kyrian ability gives you an animate charge common points. If you use a finisher at that amount of common points, it'll be buffed as if it's 7 common points worth. However, if you use the ability and do the animate charge common point, and then you just repeat that same common point charge again, now your rogue is perma bugged. Now I don't understand why the bug works in the way that it does, but now every time I use a finisher, it'll do 4,000 eviscerate worth of damage, plus the damage that you would do from Shadow, whether it is at full 6 common points with Deepest Stratagem or at 3. Or better yet, at 1. Or better yet, at 2, if I can just generate extra common point at 2. Or maybe I will do it at 5. Let's see if we could build up 4 or 5 common points real quickly. It's about 4-ish. Let's just let an auto attack generate 5. So I'm generating full common points worth of an incredible amount. Well, any amount of common points just basically automatically become whatever the finisher is. I think it does try to give you that 7 common point Kyrian thing to it. And now that you got yourself bugged, as long as you do the Kyrian ability and then you do it again at the same amount of common points back in twice in a row, it bugs the character where you have this kind of buff for any amount of common points. So even if you do it at 1 common point, you'll just get the full finisher value. If you do it 2, whatever. This means that when it comes to you doing damage as a rogue, you can literally Shadow Strike, Eviscerate, Shadow Strike, Eviscerate, Shadow Strike, Eviscerate, Shadow Strike, Eviscerate. By the time you're done Shadow Strike, you actually generate a full charge of Shadow Strikes. As long as you're playing with the talent of Enveloping Shadows, you'll basically be able to have yourself full set of charges for Shadow Strikes constantly up at all times. So far, I've only seen it working with Enveloping Shadows because it does give you extra cooldown reduction for your Shadow Strikes. So having 2 charges of Shadow Strikes just ends up being that much stronger because of the cooldown reduction mostly. And that's all you do. Shadow Strike, Eviscerate, Shadow Strike, Eviscerate, and you'll be able to get yourself quite a bit of damage out of it. Now this is all nice and dandy and good, but where this becomes really busted as well is using this in AoE. All you have to do is use the, instead of, which actually there's a new animation for your black powder now instead of Shadow Vault. There's a lot of Inferno, so let me wait until the Infernos are gone and then I can more or less show you the damage and the look of the new animation of the rogue ability, since we do have it. Alright, Infernos are gone, so now you can see what this ability looks like. So if we just get ourselves ready, yeah. So now your rogue kind of just extends his arms outwards, and I think it's supposed to have a black powder, which I think is supposed to be bombs getting thrown in all directions. Right now, the actual animation of bombs flying in different directions, just like it does with Shuriken Storm, doesn't currently exist. But you can see the shadow effect that it has. So imagine if bombs flew from above your rogue just outwards, and then enemies had this animation of this shadowy bomb applied to them. It looks cool, and also another thing it does is, unlike the original Shadow Vault, it doesn't make you jump. So you no longer are in an animation lock, you have a lot more freedom as a rogue, and with this mastery buff together, with, you know, all those common points that you generate, you can now do a lot of AoE damage. Whether you do single target damage or AoE damage in this wombo combo, now it's actually kind of insane, to be honest. Another thing you also can do is pair this with a couple legendaries. Now there's a couple different legendaries you might want to play, and a bunch of them have gotten nerfed this week. But the one legendary that hasn't really seen too many nerfs is going to be legendary of Finality. Now, I didn't figure this out. I think well, actually, I don't know who figured out the original. The last person that I've talked to, or the first person, I guess, that really figured out how strong this combo is going to be one of our guildies named Abrasive. Finality is a legendary where Eviscerate, Rupture, and Shadow Vault increase, or I guess it should be Black Powder, but it still will say Shadow Vault on here for now until they change it. So, Eviscerate, Rupture, and Black Powder increase the damage of next finisher move by 20%. This means that it's the old school Finality of, if I use an Eviscerate, then I gain an Eviscerate buff, where my next Eviscerate will do 20% more damage. So imagine this with back-to-back Eviscerates over and over and over. Same thing goes for the Black Powder. If you hit Black Powder, it says your next Shadow Vault will do 20% more damage, but it does apply to the Black Powder. So you can basically just go for fan into powder, fan into powder, fan into powder over and over and over, and every other powder just will do more damage. Also, I guess it should be also added that there is an extra shadow component with both those abilities, Eviscerate as well as Black Powder. So as you use both of these abilities, it looks like I ran out of my mastery buff, you will also gain extra shadow damage on top of it. And if you can combine that together with this nifty conduit, Eviscerate and Shadow Vault increase your shadow damage dealt by 75% for 5 seconds. That means your Eviscerate shadow damage, which will be used on fighting weakness targets, will be stronger on top of all this damage. And the same thing goes for the Black Powder. So overall, this comes out to be an incredible combo that does insane amounts of damage. I've tried it in a couple dungeons, and it's absolutely ridiculous. So I just kind of want to showcase to you guys this crazy bugged version of Rogue, and apparently this can work pretty well with Assassination and Outlaw. I haven't tried it, but I want to showcase you the mastery build with the bug version of the Kyrian ability while we have it, and showcase you some of the damage and the output that you can do for most of the dungeons. But yeah, that's available right now in the beta. Hopefully this will get fixed very, very soon, but I want to show you before it gets fixed. This is literally overpowered, busted, and I really hope Blizzard gets on the way fixing all these bugs so we can finally go back to properly testing PvP as well as PvE and kind of starting to see where the classes are lining up in terms of damage and performance. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts about this bugged version of the Kyrian Rogue. Let me know what you think about the damage output and the insane playstyle of Pac-Man. And I'll see all of you guys in another video.